Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, councillors, citizens, residents, visitors, and welcome back to the Krayven streaming complex on this Sunday, the 25th of August 2019. If it is your first time here, a very warm welcome to the show. Sorry, I should say hello, perfect timing. Thanks for taking a punt, and whether it is your 1 or 1,000th time here, a very warm welcome to Story Sunday, our two-parter story stream to see out the week. Part 1 is beginning right now with our extended warm-up. I saw that coming just by the skin of my teeth. Part 1, Darkins, thank you so much. 75 biddies. First alert blood and first biddy blood, as is quite usual, goes to your good self. Part 1 is community submitted stories from you lovely folks, citizens, friends, comrades and lovers, citizens and residents of Cravenstown. Then part 2 is going to be narrative gameplay with Pillars of Eternity 2. We've just arrived at Hosongo, and we're continuing a little bit of the main quest. I know, a huge RPG where I'll actually be doing some of the main plot. Hope you are prepared for that shock. And let me give some good evenings. Good evening, Citizen Evil Jess. And yes, I was shirtless for most of the day, and I put this on at the last second. Why not Zoidberg? I know it's reversed because mirror mode webcam, so when I point my left, it comes up left on screen as well. But yeah, same as I was rocking for Retro Block Party. Resident Dark Zero Warrior and AFK Lurk, have fun. Thanks so much. If you don't want the sound, mute the tab as opposed to putting the blood or actual first blood. Food fight, my goodness. I just catching up on everyone there, and folks, I got an emote, these new mega cheer emotes. So I got Fight Ice, I got this, Fight Ice, a bunch of you, 10, at least 9 other people just got a new emote from this new fight thing. Oh hello, a joke from Evil Jess.
Today I saw a dwarf climbing down a prison wall and I thought to myself, that's a little condescending.
She just put the little pause. She would text a speech bot. Text a speech bot.
Bored, come on man, JK love ER Crave.
Thanks, Pug Pack. Well, if you're bored now, it's only going to get worse. Thanks so much for the 5 biddies. Enjoy your Crario coins of no relation to... Oh my word, I haven't even said finish saying hello to everyone. Exclamation mark, welcome. Exclamation mark, welcome. Welcome the Cookie Crew to Cravenstown. Welcome to the... Oh my god. Alright, this is going to be the momentum we've got. Keep the welcomes coming, keep dancing. Sean, I'm going to scroll back and see everything. Welcome everyone from Indeedy. This is how we are all the time. It's never anything less energetic than this. No, I'm not on ecstasy. This is how I am. Welcome. He probably talked about the way I am before he decided to come and raid us this evening, Indeedy. And ta-da! I would walk 1,000 miles and 1,000 more to be down at your door. The Lightling, welcome. I've got to scroll back up. I was so into my warm-up. Folks, welcome. Right, I've got quite a few things to suddenly do now. A lot more than I usually have with the warm-up start. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, one and all. A legit welcome to Cravenstown team. My name is Krayven. I'm a pure variety streamer. Outstanding timing. Outstanding timing. Oh, look at that. Indeed, he's on the welcome banners. There's the welcome banners. Yes, we do have the newest member of our community, our lovely the Lightling. Can we get some welcome to Cravenstown banners just on there, Todd? Some welcome to Cravenstown banners. That's what we get when you get a new resident. What the hell is a resident? Good question. It means follower. We call our followers residents and our sub-citizens cause town. All right, yeah, welcome to Story Sunday. So I have themed days throughout the week. Sunday is how we wrap up the week. Lila, Councillor Lila, thank you so much. And before I do that, I've got to shout out, indeed, Lila was on it. I've got to talk up Indeedy. Indeedy is awesome. Is awesome. Right, that's all you need to know. Great, good, follow. No, really, but we met at Twitch London and hit it off. Energetic, friendly, awesome, fantastic, marvellous, splendid, splendiferous, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious communities. I've had the distinct pleasure of being a part of her streamcast, like the one we did on mental health a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, along with Who's Jimmy Anyway and Narutia and Critical Varieties and Nubs and Indeedy herself and moi. Since she got to know me at the VIP warm-up party at Twitch London, and then subsequently on Twitch, we've raided one another, we supported one another, our communities gel really well. She has been a fantastic supporter, and I'm working my way up and trying to get more and more engaged and trying to communicate on the regular in the Sensei Esports group, of which she is a community manager. Do yourself a solid and follow her. She does quite a bit. She's on The Sims, very much The Sims 4 player, and a variety of other things as well, but talks to the community is just, if you like me and what I do here, and obviously this is for my regulars and folks just rocking up for Story Sunday, if you like my whole vibe, our whole community first thing, caring about current stuff, charity, fundraising, good energy, nice people, no toxicity, and a real sense of community, you will find it over there as well. We're both British as well, you're welcome, so we both have these accents, you're welcome again, and our times hardly clash either, so you can just have us back to back. You can kind of binge watch Britishness with Indeedee and me. What more could you want on a Sunday or any other day of the week? Exactly. Right, I've got a little bit of chat to catch up on now. Just a tad to catch up on. I'm going to do the welcome. Dark Zero Warrior, thank you so much for the lurk. As I say, anyone who needs to lurk or chill, if you mute the tab as opposed to the slider, the view will still count. Thank you so much. Speaking of which, all you lovely raiders, all you very, very, very awesome, handsome, sexually proficient raiders who just came in, if you can hit that link, if you can hit that little raid link right there, that will count towards my view count right away. It takes about half an hour or more for it to count off of a raid because I refer a raid. Phoenix, thank you so much for the host of Krayven Sound Minions. Cheer in your honor. But if you hit that link, it will count for me right away. And Pugpack says you're not here. I don't know about that. And Darkens, thank you to 75 biddies. And Sean, Citizen Sean, you are here and I love you for it. Rainbow hugs all around. Imi got hacked 3 times. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry it took me a while to get there. I was doing the intro and the bit and I was just catching up on and starting to acknowledge the chat, and then it went crazy. It went cookie crazy. Darkens, thank you for the 500 biddies food fight bit, and that went to 10 people including myself got food emotes. And then Pugpack, thank you so much for the 5 biddies as well, and the Crario coins, and then we literally got back to back. Darkens, thank you for 1,000 biddies. I would walk 500 miles and 500 more to be down at your door right as Indeedee came in. And then hello to Callow5, Indeedee herself, Red Flawless Moon, lovely to see you again, mate. How you doing? And I got another emote from Darkens' Mega Cheer, so I'm going to do a thank you very much for that. All those welcomes, all those lovely welcomes. Councillor Lila, how you do? Get them out, Krayven. I'll do a big jiggle. I'll do a big biddies for titties jiggle in a little bit once I catch up, Jess, but you're not wrong. Thanks. Of course you would remember that. Of course you remember that. Pugpack, thanks so much for the host. And good afternoon, my love. Good afternoon to you. I haven't even started talking about my day and catching up on what's been going on over the weekend or anything else yet. Pokepack says, I'm on ecstasy. Oh my goodness. Welcome, 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 one and all. The Lightling. Look at those emo. What is that? Hero Squads. And it nailed. Oh, nail. It's a nail through it made of wood. I love that. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is genuinely brilliant. And a welcome to Lightling. And Spike, Citizen Spike. Good to see you. The great British stream off, you know it. I see you, Toot Saka, coming in there. Look at all these lovely citizens and citizenship flags. I'm melting like a candle here in the UK. Tell me about it. That's a segue that I'll go straight into. Cookie crazy is the best kind of crazy. I'm in trouble. I have 2 Cravens on at the same time. What? How? How are you doing? VODs and live, Sean? You Krayven addict, you. Are you craving some Krayven? I don't blame you. Wait, those fight emotes are based on impeccable horror film food fight. I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. I spilled my warm milk while snacking on some cookies today. This hurts on a personal and this hurts a person on a spiritual lesson. Spilling your milk and you got nothing for your cookies. Warm milk as well. Spike, I am... Love this. This is just a little upside down heart for the loss of your warm milk. I am so sorry. We will have a moment of silence. All right. Okay, the moment for tragedy has passed. Move on and get some more. And I need to lurk, darling. Gonna cook dinner. No worries, no worries. In fact, you know what? Lila, can we just get a second shout out for Indeedee? Just one more. Just treat it with a little bit of extra one. It's awesome. Okay, everyone, welcome to the stream. Story Sunday is a 2-part stream. I do the first part with a community. I do a nice warm-up, bigger warm-up, chatting with the community a bit to see out the week. And then Phoenix, thank you so much for the lurk, and the host as well. I'll catch you up on the Hollow Knight vid. Okay. Got you. Yeah, the Mantis Lords and all that. There's timestamps in that VOD on the Mantis Lords. Speaking of which, Lilac, we get some socials as well, just so I can shamelessly hoard myself. So yeah, part 1 is reading stories I've got submitted, and then part 2 is Pillars of Eternity 2, narrative-based games. And there's the socials. You can connect with me on Twitter, at Krayven_Twitch on Twitter. There's the link. And the VODs that Sean himself is referring to is right there. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And there's Instagram, if you prefer Instagram, if you're one of those cool kids, a late millennial or early Gen Z, whatever you want to call it. Shameless butt plugs. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, it's only going to get lewder. And it has been scorching. How have you all been? Everyone, Cookie Crew, Cravenstown Crew, Mutual, those of you who like your cookies in Cravenstown or like your Cravenstown flags in Cookie Land. What has your weekend been like? What have you been up to? The last time you got to see my lovely face coming in your ears was Thursday with Darkest Dungeon. We beat 100. We busted past 100 kills in Endless Harvest for Colour of Madness DLC, and we took on a couple of the Garden Guardians for now grinding out past the end game of the Crimson Curse. I remember DOC. I should say over the weekend so far for me it's been more stag do stuff than Saturday and today. I've been scorching in the sun. We've had a bit of a late, what we call in British slang, an Indian summer, where more summer turns up quite late in the day, because we're in late August going into September. It got up to 34 something in the bright sunshine in the back garden here, and in the shade it was still 31. It just didn't have the sun beating down. I made the foolish mistake of not putting on sun cream when I went to paint the shed. Yeah, all of yesterday afternoon up until about 4:30 I've been outside doing my garden sheds, fresh coat of paint on it. There's something very therapeutic, something very wax on wax off about doing that. But an artist myself, so the DIY I like doing them most is thirsty underwear.
Quick question before I get my food.
Black.
What colour on those cheesy knickers?
Though cheesy, how dare you? They're
Kleins.
clean. They're clean. My Calvin Kleins. I knew as soon as I saw Nilsson Alex on the question, I knew what it was going to be. And in actual fact, that gives me an opportunity to do this because Alex loves this. He loves the shout out. He loves that I saved it. He loves this sound effect more than anything in the world. And if you go into his channel and do this to him, he'll probably give you a free sub to his own channel. Then you waddled away, to the very next day. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, you! Yes, you! Do you like great retro games, Ninja Turtles, and marvelous people? Then you need to see Nilsson Alex, an excellent fellow and streamer from Sweden who is a great addition to Twitch's splendid retro community. I say addition, he's been in it for a while. Throw him a follow and join the Turtle Squad there. The Turtle Squaddy bit is a little bit out of date. He is a speedrunner of Batman on the NES and some other games, and does retro variety, and does the occasional modern thing, and has been regularly involved with the organisation of Retro Block Party after the rebranding of it after DGDS, and has helped organise the raising of a lot of money for a lot of very, very good charities through retro stream marathons. And he's a very entertaining guy, and like all Swedes, he's quite easy on the eyes, and you should totally check him out and give him a follow. And you should go in when you go ask him, got any grapes? And just ask him 50 times in his chat until he acknowledges it, and he'll like you forever. And at that point that'll go, because I'm actually going to start saving and recording and putting these out, putting compilations of my custom because I ad-lib all these shouts. Rejoicing. Oh, yay, 65 biddies of rejoicing from Mr. Nilsson Alex. Thank you so much for the biddies. Biddies for titties. I've got to do a much longer. I'm going to have to do a full striptease for Darkens. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Retro Block Party segues nicely into my little catch-up for Saturday. So all of you who rocked up for that, thank you so much. I get titties for them biddies, always. 65 titties. Yes, I'll look like some sort of ancient Mesopotamian deity with 65 mammaries scattered across my chest. What is that cobra emote? I see it. It's got Komodo hype. That's what it is. It looks like some cobra over his face. So hot. I am hot. Yeah. A to Ray. Just say Ray. Resident Ray. That rolls off the tongue so nicely. Resident Ray. How are you doing, Resident Ray? Like Rolls Royce. Just rocked up to the house. Spoiler alert. 65 bits equals tits. Well, what else does it rhyme with? I need to get these back to being pecs again. They've gone a bit south. But yeah, retro block party. So from Friday night to Saturday night, certainly UK time. This weekend has been retro block party, and collectively we've been raising money this month for the Organisation for Autism Research. And in fact, I can do the command here. This is now out of date, but it just tells you everything you need to know. Oh no, wait, no it doesn't, because I've now turned it off because the event is over, that's why. Anyway, yeah, the Retro Block Party channel, I streamed to again this month. This is like my 6th appearance if you include DGDS as well. Oh, Mr. Darkins has started a hunt. Folks, exclamation mark hunt. This is a fun little way to get yourself some extra channel points, which we call creds in the Badlands south of Cravenstown. It ties in with the lore of Cravenstown. You'll get used to it. You'll get more familiar. Oh, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've already got 6. That's going to be a Stonecrusher Phoenix. And the more people go, the better and tougher monsters we take on. We take on Sapphire, Citizen Sapphire. Lovely to see you, lovely to see you, lovely to see you. So yeah, I did my segment from 5 to 7 p.m. UK time yesterday. Thank you everybody who came along, especially specifically from my community here and was in the chat and supporting and donated. We beat the goal. We raised $1,034 for the Organisation for Autism Research, which is really fantastic. So again, thank you so much. I tried to take on Contra 3 on the snares, normal mode, because I'm a pussy. I couldn't do it on hard because it's already a hard game. It's harder than Dark Souls and Cuphead and Darkest Dungeon. The best we did was getting one mini boss before the final boss without any save scumming, which is a personal best without save scumming. But none of the perfect bits would come together into one perfect whole. I had a few bad starts, stages 1 to 3, and then I had a couple of good runs through stages 3 to 5, and then my best effort where I got to sort of stage 6, I just really screwed up the stage 6 bit. I did a really good one where I got to stage 4 with like all my continues intact, and then I fucked up stage 4 royally on my last attempt. So we moved on over in the last half hour to Cuphead. I'll beat it on Retro Block Party one day, I swear. I've only beaten it once for real with a lot of saves coming on a practice the other week. And then in Cuphead, I've already beaten Cuphead on Expert, so I tried going for some S classes. Tried to take on the 2 easiest bosses. How did we do? Stonecrusher Phoenix. Congratulations to Sapphire, Spike, Phoenix, myself, Darkins, Lila, Tusaka, and Sean sharing the spoils. Everyone else who took part in that, but you got injured badly enough that you had to use your profits into the Cravenstown Medicare system for cybernetic enhancements and regrown limbs in our stem cell vats and all that kind of stuff. And Sean already has 2,686, and you can redeem your creds, as Sean is checking out there with the commands. Creds, exclamation mark cred is the meta command, then my creds for how many you've got. Spend creds for what you can spend them on. Get creds for how you can accrue more, and you can use them on sound effects. You can ask me questions. You can redeem names or naming islands in something like Pillars of Eternity 2, and so on and so forth. Steam editions and asking questions and all that good stuff, and gambling to get more, not only with the Streamlabs extension but with Duel and with Hunt as well. So yeah, did Cuphead. I was trying to go for a couple of S ranks, so I picked the 2 easiest bosses. Something Legloop, the little blue ball, the little blue testicle that bounces back and forth, and Botanic Panic with the vegetable patch. And although I didn't manage to get the little blue guy in the last half hour of Retro Block Party, I came close, and I decided for another hour once the show was done, I had some gaming time for me. Could you believe it? I did some gaming that wasn't live for an audience. And joke from Jess.
I threw some protein bars in the trash. Now the raccoons are bench pressing my neighbour's Great Dane in the backyard.
I can imagine it. Citizen Incuria. Meh. Hello. And yes, High Roller ones are going to be coming in this week. Incuria, how you doing? Thanks as always for sharing all that mad cool art in Cravenstown. And those of you who aren't already members, Cravenstown Discord, right there. There is the blurb about what we're about. Non-toxic, non-edgy, but we like a good pun. We have a dark sense of humour, and we're themed around the idea of a town fully. We don't have parts that we don't have channels, we have parts of town, we don't have categories, we have districts, and we also have a secondary focus on mental health as well. I'm a mental health advocate on Twitch. More is in there. There's the link. Please do feel free to take up residency, especially if you've already followed or already subbed to the channel, if you're already a resident, already a citizen. So I did off stream. I managed to get an S rank, so expert flawless on the vegetable patch and the blue dude on Cuphead. So little small victory there. And today has been more stag do bits, catching up on a few details, following up on some work, and then back into the back garden again, doing taping up the front two sides, the side of the shed with the door and the windows that look out. So I had to do lots of prep with the masking tape, and then got busy. It's more time taping than doing the brush. And then I was very brushing. And then I was very Daniel San. Brush on, brush off, just getting the paint, small, flawless strokes. Thankfully, it's already got its first coat and everything on it, so this second pass is like nice and quick and a lot nice and easy and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, but I caught the sun. I'm pale. I mean, this right here is weeks of tanning. I'm normally pale blue in the winter and semi-translucent, so I don't go brown. I have white to burnt strawberry, and I foolishly didn't lather up my shoulders yesterday, so I caught the sun on my upper back and shoulders and the back of my neck, and I did put the sunblock on this time to try and burn the rest of myself to be a roughly even colour, which is a bit stupid really. It's like closing the paddock after the horse has already bolted, but you never know. Alright, let me just catch up here. Oh, fine, we're busy making Game Boy challenge for streamers for fun, isn't it? Okay, cool, Ikirian, nice one, dude, that sounds awesome. Game Boy equals Metroid Fusion equals, Kraygasm. Been cleaning, shopping, now I have eaten and tired. I'm on season 9 of Red Dwarf. Oh, well, try and enjoy it. Whoa! Oh, Ray! Hit that legit! Hit that legit! And that's our citizen goal for today, fantastic. Ray Krieger! Citizen Ray Krieger, not even gifted by anyone else, of your own volition. A2 Ray Krieger, welcome to the ranks of the citizenry. You are not just legit, you are Krayven's Town legit citizens. You know the drill. Hit that legit. Hit that legit. Welcome our newest citizen to the Ivory Tower. Well, Ray, first of all, enjoy the legit emotes. There are more to come. They're being drawn. I unlocked all 5 slots, but enjoy your welcome to Krayven's Town banner. Use that whenever we get new followers. And your legit emote, the most common bit of gamer slang on the entire internet, and you can use that legit as you see fit. Here, we use it to welcome in new citizens. When we get subscribers, no matter what kind of subscription it is, spam it in there. When we raid other people with the Krayven's Town militia at the end of a show, spam it in their channel as well. And of course, whenever anyone says legit, well, you want to combine emotes like hype and GG and love, legit hype, legit GG, legit love, all sorted. You're covered. You got the right thing. Next, wave your Krayven's Town flag loud and proud every time you chat, and the longer your citizenship is maintained by yourself or anyone else, the fancier it will get, as is demonstrated by my lovely, awesome sexual conquistador regulars. You'll be able to enter the Citizens giveaway, which is coming up very soon. The next giveaway will be the 1st of September, next Sunday the 1st of September. It's the first stream of each month. It's the Citizens only perk, and at 8 p.m. we do the draw. So 7 p.m. UK time, the show starts. 8 p.m. Exclamation mark giveaway when the bot opens it up. You will now have access to Citizens Towers in Discord if your Twitch and your Discord accounts are linked in your settings. Then my bot will automatically assign you the Citizens role. Your name will be in gold, and you have access to Citizens Towers, which is a subs-only area of Krayven's Town, which includes a lounge and a treasury. And we built the tower out of ivory especially. And last but by no means least, my undying appreciation and gratitude for deciding to just drop citizenship, drop a sub right here. It's very much appreciated. It allows me to keep doing this and hopefully make it a full-time thing one day. There we are, legit Rue gift. A legit Rue gift. There you go. You don't just have a Rue gift, you have a legit Rue gift. Good to go. Thank you everyone for hitting that legit. Always appreciate it. So yeah, it's been a good weekend. I've had a lot to do. I'm burnt, but I've got myself in the sun in the back garden. I haven't had a barbecue, I haven't had a swim, but I reckon most of us can go with the idea that sometimes just being out in the sun and doing a task, like something quite simple, and especially something DIY or handy where you don't have to think, you get your music on, you get your brushes out or whatever you're doing, or if you're in the shed or you work on a little hobby project or some woodworking or crafting, and just, you know what, I'm getting a thing done, I'm being productive, I'm in the sun, I've got the bumblebees buzzing if I could hear them over my music and everything else, and just something quite nice on a Saturday and a Sunday of being out in your back garden doing some work. Oh, and I almost totally forgot to mention probably the biggest highlight of the weekend in terms of streaming, along with Retro Block Party. I'm starting to hear I'm running late. Hey, Pug Pack, no worries. Honey, super glue, meth, slugs. To Saka, I don't ever want to go near your garden if it's just full of honey, super glue, meth, and slugs. And spoiler alert, that's not ivory, it's dried. Oh. Jess and Tusaka are the his and hers of complete disgusting deviancy. They're always skating close to the edge of what's acceptable in the channel, and they just buffer up against it close enough. Damn it, I was getting there. Oh, good lord. I just want to pretend I'm a good little innocent angel, yet no one's falling for it. For God's sake. Oh, Jess, you're gross. You're a very, very, very talented cross-stitcher, but you've got a twisted mind. But yeah, on Friday, I can't believe I didn't lead with this because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but on Friday, I went up and did a podcast and video cast on Gaming for Laughs. Now, Gaming for Laughs is a comedy podcast run by a comedian called Will Preston. He's a really nice guy. I've been talking to him over email for 2-3 weeks, and we got to meet on Friday. And I know you do too, Saka. Jesus, you're just as bad, if not worse. But yeah, he does a lot of the comedy circuit at the clubs. He's been like semi-finalist for like whole south coast of England top stand-up, like the top south coast top stand-up semi-finalist, like 2017, 2018. He's appeared at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, a huge festival for comedy and like plays and live shows in the UK and in the world. And what else? Yeah, he regularly hosts stuff at the Comedy Cabin in Oxfordshire, and I mean he knew the owner of the comedy club I'm taking the guys to for the stag do. So yeah, it really runs a proper setup, and he does this podcast called Gaming for Laughs, and he normally has a comedian on to defend, pick a game and basically defend it for like 5 points why you think it's the best game ever, and then at the end of the show he'll sort of evaluate like how good your arguments were and why, and it's just a lot of back and forth, and it's very organic and very chilled out. So yeah, I went up to his on Seven Sisters Road near Finsbury Park in London, and I went to his place, real chill, just nicely, kitchen table, couple of mics set up, and we just had a chat. He's editing and cutting it together now, and I got to send him a bit more information just to plug me and so on. And yeah, it was really, really fun. It was really easygoing. So I picked Morrowind. Of all the games now, having worked in the games industry and been a lifelong gamer since I was like a real little kid, picking one overall favourite is basically impossible, you know. But if I had to pick one that I just sprung to mind, Morrowind was the reason I went from just loving gaming to actually deciding to do games art design as my degree and working in industry for 10 years. It was the one that made the shift. So I will be linking, and I'll be announcing in Cravenstown. I'll probably be posting as well in either Crayflix Lounge or the music halls, depending on whether it's just audio, video and music, video and audio of that show, hopefully later this week or next week when it's all done. I was actually pretty familiar with it. I've done a podcast, one season of the Red Weird podcast before I was a streamer, and we were supporting Mr. Red Weird. And oh, Naomi, have it still giving you some trouble? How did I just realised I just start? Oh, and George, Tusaka and Darkens, who are Darkens, still a beast. Citizen Naomi, morning from America. Tell you what, Naomi will fix that. I'll tell you what will fix that. If you manually type in the emote, so if you do Kray, Krayve1, legit, all case sensitive, so a lowercase k at the start and a capital L for the legit, and if you type it in on your phone, it will do the emote correctly, and then that should resolve it, and it shouldn't come up with the first half of it broken anymore. Darkens had the same problem, and manually typing it out fixed it for him. I bet if I went a whole stream without any section innuendo, people would think my account got hacked. Probably. I thought those Toot Saka. Alright, guys, we do have new people in here, so all the innuendo is good to get used to it. But if we could just keep a little bit of a limit, because I have a whole range of folks, and I don't want everything to be so constantly sexually graphic that it drives away new people. It's all good, but let's just tone it down a little. Tone it down a little. Alright, thanks. Darkens pulls a knife out of my sleeve and starts sharpening it. Sava, did you get enough salt on your Pringles the other day? Nice butter knife you did here. So yeah, the that went really well, and then I did that, and I actually got 5 out of 5. All 5 points I picked, were actually apparently really good, and he gave me a perfect score. It's all right. It's just got something that got mentioned to me about on Retro Block Party after I did the show that I'm going to have to mention to a couple of people because they forgot that they weren't here. They were on another channel, and things started getting a bit too graphic in the chat. There you go. Right. Hopefully, is that Naomi working for you now? How is a 12-inch blade a butter knife? Jesus Christ. And then, yeah, we did a video show. We did a video as well. And the second part of the Gaming for Laughs thing is he puts you in front of a game. He puts you in front of a game like that you haven't necessarily done before, and you try and go through it, and we have like co-stream or co-recording banter. Unfortunately, the audio went wrong for that, so the audio is going to be off of a phone rather than proper microphone, so it won't be so good, but it's still usable. But that will be on YouTube, so it's going to be a podcast on like a podcast site, and it's going to be YouTube as well. And we played Oddworld New and Tasty, which is the kind of remake of Oddworld Abe's Odyssey from the PS1 and Abe's Exodus kind of combined together, I think, from both of the first Oddworld games on the PlayStation 1, and that was really quite fun to do. I was pretty terrible at it, and and it was just really good fun. So that was Friday. I did the Gaming for Laughs podcast and the Gaming for Laughs video cast with comedian Will Preston. I can't wait to show you guys that once it's up and promoted, edited, and is out there on the interwebs. Right. My goodness, with the raid we got coming in and everything else, and everyone who stuck around from that, thank you so much. That is our nice long end of week warm up, all done and all sorted. So let's get on to the meat and potatoes of part 1, your submitted stories and my glorious, lovely reading. Let's have a look what we've got first. In fact, I can just close down VOC. Tone that down there. So I've got to go into the suggestions forum and have a look at what we've got. Alright, so the first one actually was posted nearly a week ago by Citizen Knackered Housewife. Unzipping. Now, this is a Guardian article, or The Observer, which is the name of the Guardian on Sunday. If you don't know what that is, it's a newspaper. It's an independent newspaper in England. It's one of the only independent newspapers in England that's a major newspaper and the world. This is unzipping the murky trend of explicit phone pics. Alright, well, I'll see how this reads. Now, I haven't pre-read this, so I'm curious how it's going to go. So, can I suggest this for next week, if only for this accurate description of sex? I'd assume naively that these chats were intended as precursors to sex itself, the old-fashioned kind with bodies and tissues and the squelching sound of two anxieties smacking together repeatedly. Well, that line on its own is almost worth the read by itself. Not my fault the phoenix melted on my other blade. Alright, so this is an article, when was it published? Yeah, on Sunday the 18th of August 2019, so very, very recently. It's called Unzipping the Murky Trend of Dick Pics by Eva Wiseman. This is the first probably long-form newspaper article I've had on Story Sunday in a little while. What do unsolicited photos sent by phone say about us? Let's see how long this is. Okay, it's not too much of a long one. So, my friend went on a date with a woman last week who told him about her recent Tinder experiences, including a chat with a stranger who quickly sent her a dick pic. Creep. Which was fine and consensual and normal. I take it back, it was consensual. My friend shifted in his chair, eager, perhaps, to politely move the conversation on from other men's dicks. But she continued. Because shortly after chatting to this stranger, she began chatting to another guy, and as before, the chat quickly dimmed and went blue, and he too sent her a dick pic. Except she recognised the dick. It was the same picture as the first guy had sent her, the same lighting, the same angle. Let's interrupt that lovely article for some proper. For Jin to hit that legit. There's a hunt going on as well. Folks, can we
Legend
please...
has it, Krayven was once attacked by a bull. As it charged, he jumped atop it, grabbed it by the horns and ran it to and fro for 3 days. He rode it so long that the cow's balls fell off. And that is why to this day they are called steers.
That's true. That is true. You ride a bull long enough long enough, and eventually all that taurine shrivels up its testicles like walnuts, and they go plop. And the steering that I did lent it to its name. Jinta, thank you so much for re-upping your citizenship on is that 6 months, and a 6 months or 8 months with a 6-month streak. You are one off the gold flag, and you have a silver flag streak. Jinta, welcome back to the ranks of the citizenry. You are not just legit, you are Cravenstown legit. Enjoy the continued use of our legit emotes. Welcome and legit itself all over Twitch when you want to welcome anyone anywhere. And of course, when we get new followers here, hit welcome. When we get new subs here, hit legit. And when we raid other people, hit legit. When we get raids, hit that welcome command with exclamation mark welcome. Wave your Cravenstown town flag loud and proud every time you chat. Are we about to get KO'd? No, we won. Even with 6 of us, we beat another Stonecrusher Phoenix. Good work, everyone. Loud and proud every time you chat. 1 more month of the Pimptastic silver and purple 6-month flag, and then you'll be on the extremely regal gold and red 9 months Twitch baby Cravenstown town flag. You'll of course be able to enter our citizens giveaway. The next one of those are going to be this Sunday. Next Sunday, I should say, the 1st of September. Prize draw at 8 p.m. UK time. Show starts at 7 p.m. UK time. You will maintain your access to Citizens Towers, which is made of ivory. The tower is made of ivory, Jess, not dried anything. Ivory. The only dried thing it's made of is dried ivory. Provided your Twitch and your Discord are integrated and accounts are linked. Last but by no means least, my undying appreciation and gratitude drags the body back to town. Don't worry, we can resuscitate it. We have the technology. Jinta, thank you so much. All right, continuing on with submission number 1. So, and this is like second dick pic sent to this girl that's been talked about on a date with somebody else, because shortly after chatting to strangers, she began chatting to another guy, and as before, the chat quickly dimmed and went blue, and he too sent her a dick pic. Except she recognised the dick. It was the same picture. The first guy had sent her the same lighting, the same angle, the same, well, heft. Curious about this approach, I looked this phenomenon up on the internet, brackets, because that's how a hungover mother deep into the 2nd decade of monogamy navigates sexuality, close brackets, and learned it was a thing. Fake dick pics. I'm actually discovering this myself. I did not know. I just thought dick pics were sent by creeps who can't actually get laid. There's one in particular that appears to do the rounds and looks raw and proud, like the meat a waiter might present to an oligarch before grilling it right there on the table. Wow, people are just using... I can't believe fake profile pictures have gone to the stage that there's now like fake, you know, does that mean there's like a whole dark undercurrent of iStock photos, like stock photo dicks? That's like the worst thing ever. I'd assumed naively that these chats were intended as precursors to sex itself, the old-fashioned kind, with bodies and tissues and the squelching sound of 2 anxieties smacking together repeatedly. But the prevalence of fake dick pics reveals more nuance to the really nuance. With this sheet drawn back on the reality of modern intercourse, where nothing need go into anything else at all, I like the pun, I wondered what else I'd failed to understand about dick pics. Luckily, the first study into dick pics, parentheses, yes, it's actually been a study into this because why not, has just been published. The dick pic needs no introduction, having become so ubiquitous in modern culture that it might as well have been carved into a hill in chalk. It literally has been. There is a chalk man on British hillsides with an enormous erect penis. So yeah, you might want to reference that, lady. It looms pink and heavy beneath all online interactions, emerging from the depths, jaws-like, yet toothless. The same dick pic can be received as harassment or seduction, or arrogance or tragedy, a fleeting fleshy insight into the sex minds of others. Yet until now, there has been little investigation into its origins. This month, that first ever empirical study into unsolicited dick pics used an online survey to ask 1,307 respondents about their dick pic activities. Who responds to this? The aim was to, air quotes, to explore men's motivations for sending unsolicited images of their genitalia. A secondary purpose was to investigate the personality and sexuality characteristics of the men who send dick pics relative to those who do not. close quotes. It's steamy reading. Well, for people like me, who used to flick through Andrea Dworkin's books for the rude bits, it uses phrases like the feminist conceptualization of the dick pic as a hostile cultural product and sexual overperception bias. Its conclusions are that dick pics are either sent with a transactional mindset, i.e. the hope that the recipient will respond with a picture of their own, or as a grim method of flirting, an icebreaker the size of the Titanic, well, if you're lucky, with almost as many fatalities. The study also found that heterosexual men who send unsolicited dick pics score highly on measures of narcissism and hostile sexism, which I think will surprise very much nobody. Yeah, I could imagine narcissists and sexists would just think nothing of doing something like that. I look forward to further studies, investigations of consensual exchanges too, including such fascinations as the hetero sender's adorable celebration of a stout phallus and the use of a black and white filter to alert the recipient that this is not simply a piss tube, instead a sculptural representation of sexuality itself. I also look forward, why would you look forward to any of this? I look forward to studies including frank accounts from senders of their fantasies of a dick pic arriving on horseback, like a missive in a period film destined to change the fortune of the damsel that faints upon opening it. The dick pic as adult iteration of the painting a child brings home from... Why would you make this analogy? Why would you make an analogy like this? Listen to this analogy. The dick pic as an adult iteration of the painting a child brings home from nursery, covered in glitter and glued on pasta, which must be immediately stuck on the fridge to avoid a tantrum lasting all afternoon. Oh god, there's a mental image everyone could have lived without. The filtered dick pic, softened by a kind of nostalgic lens, where the love affair is clearly between a photographer and his phone itself. The dick pic as evidence, the dick pic as avatar. Please don't anyone use that as an avatar. The dick pic as a man's distilled sexuality, much like a good chicken stock. Ugh. And the fake dick pic, a form of catfishing so badly designed it rivals Philip Stark's lemon squeezer. Now it has transcended the realm of WhatsApp and established itself as a unique and weighty She's really got like girth and weight of penis on the back of her mind. WhatsApp established itself as a unique and weighty representation of the intersection of technology, sexuality and consent. Might the dick pic be recognised as a defining image of our time? Something to be printed, say, on stamps? The future comes fast. On that last point, no, fuck no. Well, that is one hell of a different opening to what we usually get for Story Sunday. Thank you so much, I think. Citizen Knackered Housewife. Let me just catch up on the chat there. Oh, here we go. That ivory is actually clouds. Love it. Sure. I'm cooking stone cusher for the town today. Stone cusher, you mean like Wesley cusher? Oh my god, yeah, I know, Sapphire. Darkens loots unconscious allies on the way back to town. Darkens, you absolute mercenary animal. Yeah, why send your own where you can send someone else's? Yep. So one has a smiley face, the other one has a sad one. What, like a really creepy form of like the theatre symbol with that and the like mask, but it's like it's drawn on two willies like this. Darkens, what part of the stone crusher do you want? And Jinta says, random fact. But these are always true, they're just really odd random facts. Mel Blanc is the most prolific actor in history. He is credited for over 709 films, including over 100 TV movies and video productions, and he has an extra 81 unaccredited voice parts in films. Statistically, he has more speaking parts in movies than most people born before 1920 said in their entire life. Wow. And Jess says Game of Thrones only showed floppy dicks because erect penises were seen as threatening. Yep, true. They're still at that weird thing where an erect phallus is too hardcore. Ladies and gents, a new trend. Glitter, yeah, it's like vajazzling, but like terrible. That mental image, yeah, enjoy. Sure, I mean, the singer of Goldfinger sang about Shirley Bassey. Are you sure you're not confusing that with the Austin Powers parody, which is called Gold Member there, Sapphire? Okay, moving swiftly on to some more typical things for Story Sunday. We've got a few lovely submissions from Darkens, from the best of Reddit, 2 from Malicious Compliance, 1 from IDontWorkHereLady, and 1 from ProRevenge. Let's crack on with those. Right, so Reddit malicious compliance, those of you who don't already know, it's people conforming to the letter but not the spirit of a request. So this is from user Animated Rouge, 15 hours old, nearly 10,000 upvotes already. And the title is, want to extend my hours without telling me? Okay then. This happened about a month ago, and I finally got around to writing it out. I work at a retail store that rhymes with souls. Recently, there's been some real turmoil at my specific location. The scheduling manager is fantastic at looking at availability and maximum hours and writing the schedule to fit perfectly with everyone's needs considered. However, our general manager is the one with final say of the schedule. It's become a huge problem with the management that the good workers are being scheduled between 5 and 10 hours more than their availability allows. This always seems to affect me. In the past 3 or so months, I've had to go to management countless times and demand that my schedules fit my availability. Let's just check the music volume there. It seems to be alright. I'm going to crack that down fractionally more. There we go. So I've had to go to management countless times and demand that my schedules fit my availability. Typically, this is an irritation and really not something I want to deal with, but it's not anything overly ridiculous. However, about a month ago, I went into my shift and saw that my shift was manually penciled in and extended another 15 minutes and signed by my general manager. This really upset me. I feel like employees' hours are to be stuck to. What if I had an appointment right after work? So I'm angry and I'm ready to storm into the manager's office and ask what the reasoning is and how he feels and how this feels really unethical. But the more I look at the schedule, the more I formulated a plan for malicious compliance. Halfway through my shift, I walked into my GM's office and talked to him. It's not verbatim, but it went something like this. Me. Hi, why did you extend my shift without telling me? General manager. We needed coverage until the next shift comes in at 3. Me, I understand that, but I really don't like my schedule being changed with no notification or asking me. GM. I know, but we needed someone to stay in your department until 3. I figured you wouldn't mind. Me. I do, but I'll stay for just this one time. This means I work 7 hours, right? GM. Right. And me. And isn't 7 hours the minimum to have a lunch break? GM. Yes. Me. Well, I'll take my lunch now. I leave and clock out for 30 minutes. I think the GM finally realised that by extending my hours 15 minutes, he gave me a 30-minute off-the-clock lunch break, therefore making it a net loss of 15 minutes of work. The best part, when I took my lunch, the department I was working at was completely packed with customers. They were all needing help and had to ask staff from other departments because I wasn't going to help while clocked out. The last 15 minutes, completely silent and peaceful. Petty, but entirely justified. Alright, nice. Good start. The second one, malicious compliance part 2. A malicious compliance story 2 for this week, I should say. This is from user Give Me Backwards Knees, 2 days old, 6,200 upvotes. And it is, you want me to tell the truth? Fine. A little backstory before we get into the malicious compliance itself. This all happened about 2 years ago. My sister, who we'll call Kate, and her boyfriend, we'll say Adam, had been dating for about 6 months or so at this point. He and I don't have much in common, but he's a nice guy and we get along fine. Her ex, Brad, we don't know, however, was a total shitbag who would punch her, push her downstairs and throw tantrums when he didn't get his way. Okay, yep, straight up shitbag. My relationship with my sister is complex, and while I won't go into the details there, I rarely ever see her and she really only calls me when she needs something from me. This is how this story begins. I was watching a movie with my roommate when Kate calls me. I was a little miffed because the movie was just getting into the good stuff, but whatever, I answered. Hey, Backwards Knees. Adam is mad at me right now because Brad messaged him on Facebook with screenshots of sex that he's trying to say are from me. And he's also claiming that he came to my house and I sucked his dick. I know that you know about my relationship with Brad and that I'd never do anything with him because of the abuse. And I also know that you don't give a fuck and will tell people how it is with stuff like this. Could you just be honest with Adam and try to calm him down a bit? He's very upset right now. What Kate wasn't aware of, though, was that On the day that she allegedly played Brad's skin flute, I just so happened to drive by her house, where his truck was parked outside, I'm assuming Brad's truck, in plain view of the road. Oh, in plain view of the road, I had seen her slobbing on his knob. Real classy. Well, we've got some graphic ones this week, goodness. So, she handed the phone to Adam, who was clearly very upset, voice cracking on the verge of tears. I have a decent amount of respect for this guy, considerably more than I did for Kate after realising what she was trying to get me to do, i.e. lie on her behalf because she's still whoring around with an abusive ex. So, I told him exactly what I'd seen, but I was unable to say if she had sexted him, but she had definitely been unfaithful to him on that one instance. Because Kate had assured him that I would be honest because of my reputation for bluntness on these kinds of things, he had absolutely no reason to disbelieve me. He thanked me for my honesty and hung up. Kate proceeded to call me upwards of 15 times over the next half hour. I answered none of them. Well, they're not close as sisters, clearly, but good on this sister. Give me backwards knees for her honesty. And yeah, screw a sister who's you're not that close to try to like get you to lie on her behalf and take advantage of your reputation for honesty to lie on her behalf. It's a shitty thing to do, and good job that she got caught. All right. Story number, well, four actually. So we've had three. We've had a newspaper article, 2 from Malicious Compliance. This is from the Reddit subreddit IDontWorkHereLady, and it is a derivative of subreddits like Tales from Retail that involves stories about folks that go into other businesses and have irate customers or angry customers mistake them for employees. So this is from user Bambi Million. 19 hours ago, about 1.6 thousand upvotes, again submitted by Darkard. Sorry, and before I go into this one, let's just make sure I haven't missed too much chat. So I see little bits of it flying past me. Yes, no, literally they asked her to songwrite and she wrote about, oh, so really the Goldfinger is actually a subtle kind of singing about it came over very much like it was written for the Goldfinger movie perfectly, and there's some subtext that is actually about a phallus sapphire. Did Shirley Bassey like write it that way? I don't think Shirley Bassey probably wrote it. Did the songwriter write it to be that way? That's quite amazing. I never knew that if that was the case. And Jitta says, for years I've said that glitter is the syphilis of crafts. That analogy. Anyone that adds it to their rooster is just asking for problems. Yeah, especially. I think so. It's a total pain to wash off as well. Not that I'm speaking from experience. True story on Channel 4? Really? Cool. It's kind of like you hear about all these songs that got secondary meanings, like Hotel California is about heroin addiction. And isn't as obvious about its like drug origins as like other things like the songs from oh god, like the Stranglers, like Golden Brown, which is obviously also about heroin addiction. And 2 seconds, imagine being a background character in Game of Thrones, being surrounded by people and having a hard on, then due to it being vital to the show, the directors yell at you to get oh good lord. Resident Dextro, how you doing? We got another hunt, exclamation mark hunt. Get it over the cusp to get us into Stonecrusher Phoenix. This is going to be three Stonecrushers in a row. Dex, how you doing? Right, we're on to story number 4 of 5 that we've got today. So let's jump back over to that. This is from IDontWorkHereLady. It's quite a beefy one, quite a long one. And it's called by user Bambi Million, and says, I just wanted to eat my shabu shabu, or shabu shabu. I don't know what that is, so I don't quite know the correct emphasis in the word. So, recently I've become addicted to the little authentic Asian restaurants in my neighborhood. I also have found that I adore Japanese hot pot, known as shabu shabu. Now, the owners of my local shabu shabu place are a lovely older generation couple, likely in their 60s, with bare minimum knowledge of technology and minimal ability to speak English. They do speak Korean and Japanese fluently, as the wife is from Korea and the husband from Japan. This becomes important. I don't speak fluent Japanese and no Korean, but the owners are smart and created a menu with pictures for their English-only guests. Oh, 2 seconds. So, 2 seconds. I love eating there. I go one time every 2 to 3 weeks, and I definitely will pick this hot pot place over all the other ones around. I love that it's fresh, and I've gotten to know the owner's sister and kids who work in this family-run business too. It's a family-run business pretty well. In fact, the owner's sister is going to culinary school, and she often likes to test new recipes she's trying out with me. Food is truly a universal language for us and most of the neighborhood. Now, while this place is authentic, that also means that the majority of their customers come in because they know exactly what they want and when. Shabu Shabu is mainly a self-serve kind of thing. You could look it up if you want for more info. And the place is basically a seat yourself after you inform people that you're there. They will come for soup, meat and drink orders, but everything else is self-serve with a near buffet style for veggies and add-ons to the hot pot. So, I went yesterday with my mum and we really enjoyed our time. It was Friday happy hour, and because I'm a loyal customer, I got a nice discount and no charge on my sodas. Great. Anyway, my mum's sitting eating her soup. I get up to get some freshly made white rice that the owner has set up with a nearby pot for customers to go grab from, in a small bowl, of course. The traditional Japanese bowls are quite little. I'm making my bowl when... Oh, here we go. I knew there was going to be a Karen story. There's always a Karen story. I'm making my bowl when the wild Karen and her kids, about 12 to 14 years of age, enters through the front door. I start spending my time picking out a topping for the rice, which they've left sauces and whatnot next to the rice for us to do. Wild Karen, the wild Karen, begins making a huffing noise. When I glance behind me, I see that the owner's daughter is still prepping a dessert on the patio for a couple, and that the other server, his sister, is loaded down with multiple dishes of cold meat to set out at the different tables for waiting customers. I shrug and finish prepping my rice before heading over to my mum. I didn't know that the wild Karen had followed me. She waited until I was moving to my seat to grab me, literally grab me, by the arm. Karen, what the heck are you doing? Where the heck are you going? I need to seat my child. You need to seat my child and I. I don't work here. You just need to get a table and someone will come eventually. Karen, what the heck kind of joke service is this? You need to serve me like you did this fatso. She points at my mum. What a cunt! What an absolute cunt! There were clearly 2 set up plates and drinks and everything, so it's kind of obvious that I'd just been at the table eating. Annoyed and not wanting to deal with her, I started trying to pull my arm away. Me, lady, let go. Karen, not until you seat me. Me, lady, I just want to eat my dinner, leave me alone. Karen went ballistic and begins to yell at me loudly. I won't type a repeat, but there were words given out that no child should hear from parents, including racial slurs. Oh man, this must be some hillbilly deep south Karen. I pull my arm free at the same time the owner's sister comes to stop her, and crazy Karen scratched down the side of my arm in full view of everyone. Not enough to bleed, but enough to leave a light mark. Sister of the owner started yelling at the woman in Korean. Soon enough, the entire family is yelling at her in Korean. I just kind of stood there staring. My mum looked like something funny was happening while she pulled me away. The commotion called the security guard, who likes to park their cart just outside in the main entrance to the strip mall. The owner, in his broken English, and the woman and her kid kicked out. She threw such a fit that the guard banned her from the strip mall for a week on the way out. When she finally drove off, I chatted with the owner's daughter a bit, who promised me a sweet ice cream treat for after dinner for the trouble. When I sat down, my mother started laughing. I asked her why she was laughing, and she explained that during the confrontation, the owner's wife, daughter and sister were using their Korean to call the woman the most creative, offensive name she'd ever heard. When the owner's sister came out with an apologetic ice cream after our meal, the mum told her in Korean that she loved the food and the show. Turns out that my blonde, blue-eyed and clearly white mother was the only person in the entire restaurant, aside from the family, that spoke enough Korean to understand what they were yelling, and it was all creative insults. I love doing that in a second language, especially in Britain when no one speaks a second language for the most part. And if you know a second language, you can have some fun with it if someone really pisses you off. They didn't even try to talk about serving her. All that was said was that she scratched me, one of the best customers they had, and they full on started a contest on who could insult her the best. Hence why my mum had a hard time keeping from laughing. By the end of what my mum had translated, everyone in the place with us was laughing and back to the happy mood. I'm so glad I enjoyed this place so much, and I can't wait until next week. Mum and I are planning on taking our family friend there when she flies in from South Korea. That is Oh, and she's even translated some of the insults. I feel very sorry for any nice ladies called Karen. It's true. My best friend's wife to be is called Karen, and she's really nice. She's like my odd daughter, my goddaughter's mother. Yeah, she's Karen, and she's really but for some reason there's been this weird match of just enough people above and beyond the norm have had this name. And then that haircut, everyone knows the one that's gone around with the memes, like someone with this haircut will want to speak with your manager, that was really popular for a while as part of the sort of suburban mum sets. And it's just like the Karen haircut, and now it's just like you use it as an adjective. It's I do truly feel bad, and well done everyone on the Stone Crusher Phoenix. We're crushing it. Right, so I'm just going to translate. I'll read that in a second, Jinta. I'm just going to read these insults that came up. So, by popular demand, here are a few of the insults that the user's mum translated from Korean that they were saying to this wild Karen. The daughter of the owner, who would want to breed with a donkey head like you, but seeing as the dad isn't here, it must be visitation time, you shrew bitch. Sister of the owner, your swollen head means that you caught a guy through that mouth because he had to shut you up sometime. Wife of the owner, someone should feed you to pigs because then you'll get service. You'll get service like you're demanding, idiot. As for the name calling, daughter of the owner, a stinky pig chewing dog loving shrew. Owner's wife, a pink and yellow, what she was wearing, spotted thing with an afro in the wrong place. And owner's sister, a wannabe Barbie doll that can't do enough exercise and looks more like a drag queen. Obviously a little bit is lost in translation, but some of those are some pretty sick burns. I love that. A spotted thing with an afro in the wrong place. Oh, good lord. And Jinta says, random fact, despite let me read that. Despite the belief that Alice in Wonderland is some sort of drug-induced fantasy, the fact is, the original story was about math and his hatred of the new math that was being discovered and used, with the subject rapidly becoming more abstract. The discoveries of non-Euclidean geometries, the development of abstract symbolic algebra, which is not tied to arithmetical geometry, and the growing acceptance, or at least use, of imaginary numbers. Really, Jinta? Because not the Doors of Perception. What was the original Through the Looking Glass is like really tripped out. It was just parodying like new math. I mean, we consider it, if you're in Britain, maths, but we just consider maths to include all these additional things. But yeah, non-Euclidean, basically maths that wasn't just for arithmetic and geometry, has only been in sort of mainstay teaching for like the last 100 years or so. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Awesome. Well, Darkins, thank you once again. And the last I think story of today for part one. This is some good old ProRevenge. I thought Lewis Carroll wrote the story about an underage girl he likes. He was one demented. See, there's the drug trip. That one's a new. I've never heard of that particular. That being the inspiration for it, Sapphire. But Jinta, where did you get that particular fact from? Because it's a very, very, very heavily discussed cultural lodestone, Alice in Wonderland. Sapphire, where did you hear your one? Is that just from conversation or so? So, ProRevenge, have a story. This is a subreddit with have a story of you or someone you know getting back at someone with ProRevenge after being wronged. this is the place for it. So this is a couple of days old, 7,000 upvotes or so by user Erwin Flynn. Make my life hell at multiple jobs, I'll get you fired. So, oh, actually I should have some water. It's very hot. Folks, do keep yourselves hydrated. It is not cool and it is very, very sticky, at least if you're in the UK. The one I knew that was generally accepted amongst the literature community was the one with partly informed by experiences like, you know, hallucinogenics and so on. But it's a weird. I could certainly imagine that sort of underage infatuation would creep in there. Times were different, by which I mean it wasn't any more acceptable. It was just acceptable. It was just more accepted and done. Yeah, I really hadn't come across that at all, Sapphire. Wow. Okay. So, backstory. In the early 2000s, I worked for overpriced CD store that remains nameless. I really liked my job. It's another poor Karen. Have a moment. Let's have a moment for the good Karens in this world, because they're going through a rough meme period on the internet these last few years. I really liked my job, aside from one co-worker, Karen. If that is a real name, it's not helping the negative stereotype. We just didn't get along. I made the best of it, but she was a borderline bully. Of course, she gets promoted to key holder and proceeds to turn into a full-blown power trip bully. She made my life hell, and a job that I previously loved, I couldn't stand anymore. I made a formal complaint that made its way to HR, but I was done working there, which was her goal. Of course, when HR investigated my claims, they found she and the assistant manager were dating. Oops. And she was moved to another store since fraternizing was against policy. Apparently she didn't like that store and quit. Now, a few months later, I was happily working at Defunct Bookstore. And who gets a job at Defunct Bookstore at another mall? Karen. Over the next few months, she proceeds to do little things to annoy me, like hanging up when I would call their store for a customer or leave me on hold forever. Of course, I would get in trouble for not effectively handling the customer with their needs. The revenge. About 6 months into the job, no, I'm assuming this is the bookstore job, I heard through the grapevine of store gossip that Karen had been injured in a car accident. Ooh. Apparently, she had hurt her back and went on medical leave. She couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes at a time without excruciating pain. This is important. I hope this isn't going to be like a ProRevenge. It's actually really mean. Without excruciating pain. This is important, parentheses. She was on indefinite leave, and her store could not hire anyone to replace her while on medical leave, leaving them short-handed. And I knew the manager was really annoyed after a few months. 2 months later, a few friends of mine and I decided to go play pool. A former co-worker, Rick, from the overpriced CD store was there. Rick: man, too bad you weren't here last night. It would have been our reunion. Karen and the assistant manager were here playing pool. Me: Karen was playing pool? Me: Rick: oh yeah, they come in every Wednesday night. Me: oh, really? That's interesting. Every Wednesday night, huh? How long's this been going on? Rick: a few months now. Yes, for the entire time she was on medical leave, Karen was out playing pool once a week, not at home in debilitating pain like she claimed. The next day, I went to her defunct bookstore and asked to speak to the manager. I told him all about her weekly pool sessions and encouraged him to be at the pool hall the next Wednesday night to catch her in action. That following Thursday, she was fired. The last time I saw her, she and her friend were attempting to follow me home from work. I called the police and led them into the police station, where they told her to leave me alone or be arrested. She stayed away from me after that. Well, I thought for a second it was about to get really, really like unpleasant kind of revenge, but damn, that was good. Freaking what a line cow! What a line cow! Excellent. Got moved and or fired from 2 places for being a bully, and then to the point of almost trying to assault her. Nice. Let's see. Hashtag things you hear from English literature professors. Really? That's from English literature professors grapevine. Well, fair enough, Sapphire. I think that's a pretty solid bit of grapevine you got there for the Lewis Carroll. And it was A story about an underage girl he likes. Oh, Lord. That puts a bit of an unpleasant spin on Alice in Wonderland. Jinta says the original story was written for one of his co-workers' daughter that he liked. Ah, okay. Well, backed up by Jinta as well. That was in the foreword of his personal documentation on the books. Nothing sexual in nature was written about. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, of course. So... It was a combination of like the protagonist Alice is about one of his co-workers' daughters that he liked, but apparently not necessarily sexually, or perhaps just had an infatuation, a sort of slightly odd, slightly creepy crush on, but the main wackiness of the story comes from his dislike of the new maths. And my understanding of the situation was from the Stanford University report on the book, but that's definitely backed up and cleared. And Chris MHH, welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for popping up in the chat. Have you ever used Omegle? I'm afraid I don't know. Am I reading that? Omegle? I don't know what that is, Chris. I'm sorry. I apologise. I don't know what that is. Exclamation mark hunt. Let's get another one. Let's get some more bad boys down. Let's go and kill some more of the creatures, the giant pesky monsters in the Badlands south of Cravenstown. Okay, well, I heard about it from some English literature professor. Well, it seems, considering the two of you, I reckon that's some pretty solid evidence backing it up, especially if it's recorded in his own personal documentation. Okay, well, that will be the end of part one. That is the end of the live reading. Thank you so much for the 5 submissions that we've had today from Knackered Housewife and from Darkins. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and everyone who's come by from the raid, I hope you're sticking around. If I could ask you a small little favour, folks, with the hunt going on, that link that just already went up there, but in the chat, if you could hit that link and give it a like and a retweet. I should have posted beginning. In fact, I'll do it again. Congratulations to Sapphire and Ray, who both walked out, splitting the loot between them. The rest of us get brutally injured. I'll put it in again. If you give that a like and a retweet, that's that we're already live. And we're going to move on to part 2. Now is a perfect time to get yourself a quick drink, stay hydrated, go for a quick break to the toilet. I'm going to update the category from just chatting and live reading to Pillars of Eternity 2, and we're going to carry on with the main. No, we're not. I'll have to edit that little bit out. Sapphire, thank you so much. I was thinking, I could have sworn there was something in Writer's Coffee Shop, and good job you reminded me, Sapphire. Right. So this was actually posted. This is another one of Sapphire's own stories, and she posted it in a writer's coffee shop to be read today. So we're not quite there. We have one more story. So this took place in July 13. When I was living back, I'll do the dialogue as best as I can in Northern Irish. This took place in 2013 when I was living back with my parents in Northern Ireland. I was attending my first Pride event in Belfast with a couple of my mates, all dressed up and looking sassy. Winky face. I decided to dress up in my Chinese dress just to represent the LGBT community in the Chinese population. Respect. But also due to the rise of increasing racism in Northern Ireland. After completing the Pride March, we went to a local pub just to chill out. I popped into the toilet to do my business, and whilst I was washing my hands, this massive butch lesbian, so the big sort of, crew cut, plaid jacket, tats probably, started chatting to me. Here is the interaction, and Sapphire's requested I try and do this in a Northern Irish accent. Now, my Northern Irish accent is a little bit sketchy. It'll probably bounce between Ballycastle, Ulster and Australia, but I'll do my best to do Northern Irish. How dare you, talking like that with a real harsh voice. The butch drunk lady. You're right there, how are you? Me, I'm fine. Where are you from? I'm from here. How are you? Okay, you listening to Chinese or Japanese? Chinese? Oh, sorry. Okay, listen. Are you Chinese or Japanese? Me, Chinese? Cool. Now, I'm not a racist, but is Japanese or Chinese different from each other? I love that. I'm not a racist, but it's not the worst thing to follow that particular opener. I was about to answer until a friend of the butch lady came out of the cubicle and shouts, "Yes, it is. Don't answer that. I'm sorry about me, mate. It's okay." "Ah, but I wasn't being racist." Friend of the butch drunk lady, "Yeah, you fucking are." All of a sudden, the friend of the butch drunk lesbian lady proceeds to spray hairspray on the butch drunk lady's face just to shut her up. I quickly left, never to see them again. That was maybe a weird highlight from my first Pride event, a Northern Ireland Pride as well. And if you do that in the best faux Northern Irish accent, I'll be impressed. I think that bounced around from Cork to Ballycastle, but I hope that was all right. I hope that was all right. How many stone crushers? We're getting quite a few. We're getting quite a few. Jess, thanks so much for the lurk, and thank you to Sapphire for that rather delightful little funny story for the last part of part 1 of Story Sunday, the community submission. So thank you, I should say again, to Knackered Housewife, to Darkins, Knackered Housewife for the Observer article, Darkins for the Reddit stories, and to Sapphire for another excellent self story of your own written up in the writer's coffee shop. Okay. Part 2 will begin shortly. Get yourselves a break. Go to the loo. Just going to update the information.